Welcome everyone to the 12th annual, I think, NEC People Conference. I think it's amazing to see so many, familiar faces and new faces as well today in the audience. I think, one of the fantastic things about these conferences is that it's a conference by practitioners for practitioners, and that's one of the wonderful things about the NEC. I think it's not so much a lawyer's contract. It's a contract that is designed to make itself accessible, and it's a measure of that accessibility that there are people in the audience today from the whole spectrum of disciplines involved in a project, and that's what NEC is about, really. I mean, I always say that this is a conference about collaboration. It's not a conference about the NEC. No contract is a magic wand. So all a contract can do is encourage good behavior. So it's like a doorway, but whether you choose to step through that door and collaborate for the success of a project or be adversarial is up to you. So that's really what it's about. But in terms of NEC, I think it is a toolkit. It's a toolbox of project management tools that you can use, and so I think it's not a contract that you leave in the drawer like other forms of contract. I think one of the points that's going to be touched upon today is about Z clauses, and it's like some people hate Z clauses. Lawyers tend to like Z clauses, possibly too much. I've got a contract at the moment which is a £1 billion project in the UK. And basically we tracked the contract against the original NEC, and it's about it's an energy project, and you can only see like bits of black from the original NEC. It's just a sea of red, the whole conditions, and that's, I think, overkill, to say the least. So it's about balance, I think, and that's something we're going to be exploring today. So, yeah, without further ado, I'll hand over to Glenn, and I hope you enjoy the day. Thanks.
Thanks, Matthew, and a very warm welcome to all of our guests, new and more established guests. So we've got a lot of new people this year's event, a lot of repeat faces coming back year on year. This is our 12th year of this conference. And the first big thank you is to all of the sponsors that you see around the room today and in the coffee area. This wouldn't be possible, obviously, especially to K&L Gates, our lead sponsor, and to all of the sponsors that have enabled this event to be put on. You might have noticed you didn't pay anything for today, so it's put on free by the sponsors. We will be taking photos and videos, so Dan and the guys will be taking videos during the day, and they will be available to download after the conference, as will the videos as well. There is a free Wi-Fi, so we're all indispensable. We need to check emails. Try and save it for the breaks, but at the breaks, log in to Leonardo Guest Wi-Fi. There's no password. You can log in at any point. There are no planned fire alarms today, thankfully. Our emergency exits to the left door and the right door, down the stairs, and the assembly point is in Cooper Row. Hopefully we won't be testing that today. Some of you might have heard the bell. If you've already heard the bell, you were close to being late, but at the breaks, the guys will be ringing the bell just 2 minutes before the start of each session. So you've got 2 minutes, don't run, but just calmly come back into the room for the start of the session. And obviously the timings are in your packs. Phones on silent. I'm frantically thinking, did I put mine on silent now in my pocket? But I don't want to check. That would be very unprofessional. So check all your phones are on silent. But you will need them a bit later on, particularly this afternoon. There's rumours of another round of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. If anyone was here last year, that was quite a successful thing. So you're all going to be playing along at that point. So we'll explain the interaction a bit later on. No doubt several of you will have travelled a fair distance today. Some of you will have set alarms fairly early this morning. I don't want to hear that you've travelled from Birmingham or Manchester. There are people today, we're in the red bits. There are people today, if they're not here yet, they will be shortly because they're flying in this morning and they're coming from South Africa. and already should be here. Our contingent from Peru are represented here today. So are you here yet, the Peru guys? Yes, at the back there. So there we go. So don't... Very, very warm welcome all the way from... They've only come here for today. They're flying back out tomorrow, but stick around for the other NEC conference as well on Friday. So that's worthy as well. And it's an NEC week. So we've got Reka and here from NEC today. And on Friday, there's the NEC User Group Conference as well. So 2 NEC conferences in 1 week. It doesn't get any better than this, does it? So the theme of this year's conference, we always pick a theme. And we're trying to just think what do we want to make it this year? And this year seemed a really good opportunity to just do a state of the industry review and also a look to the future. So if you look through our agenda, you'll see some of the topics we're talking about. It's kind of basic stuff, right? Early warnings, compensation events, how you assess ground conditions. But we wanted to set up a conference that would be engaging and also senior people in the industry would learn, challenge their views. And that's what we tried to set up. So particularly this morning's segment, we're looking at the current state of the industry and where we are and reminding ourselves some of the basic stuff we need to be better and get right. And then this afternoon, we're going to be drifting really a look to the future as to what sort of innovations have we got coming up, technology, how that's going to help us moving forward as an industry. And maybe some of the problems we discussed this morning, maybe that innovation, technological support is how it's going to help us improve going forward. So that's the loose theme for this year's conference. You should have picked up a brochure pack, and if you haven't, there's on the desk, so you can grab it at any point. But everything in here, in your brochure, you've got the agenda on page 3 and page 5. All of our sponsors, so again, thank you to all of our sponsors. There's a profile of each of the sponsor profiles and also the speaker profiles. Some of the photos are a bit dodgy, I have to confess, in that section, but skip that bit. There's also an attendee list in the middle, so you can see who's here, fellow colleagues, and also a sample of some of the discussions in our LinkedIn group. And at the very back, I think we only need it for the millionaire today, but we've got our QR code at the back. So this afternoon, we're going to be asking you to log on. So make sure your batteries are charged during lunchtime, because we all want you to play along. Don't worry, we don't publish the results, so you can do it free. We only look at the top 10. Okay, so the rest of you we will not publish, so have a go at it. It is a bit of fun, but actually it's educational as well. So we'll come on to that. Actually, I think Chris is looking for volunteers. Last year, we did kind of pick people, but if you are interested, we're only doing 1 round this year. If you are interested in being one of our 2 contestants, then speak to Chris at any point today. Otherwise, we will be picking people from random. So we want you to enjoy the day though. So don't fear that we won't make you come up here. In terms of our LinkedIn group, we have a slight rebrand. So you might have noticed our new, slightly snazzier NEC People logo. So that's been rebranded within the group. And since last year, we've had over 1,300 people have joined the group. So we're just over 12,200 people. When myself and Chris Woodbridge over there set the group up about 13 years ago, we never dreamt. We had about 100 and we were quite excited, weren't we, Chris? We got about 100 people. Oh, there's another 100 sad people who want to talk NEC. Look how many sad people there are now, 12,200 people. And this is by far the biggest discussion NEC forum in the industry, and it's the only place you're going to find an NEC advent calendar. Okay, no reaction. Thank you. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out. It is actually, in December, we make a point. I think everyone on the panel here has been a contributor to at least a couple of the days, several of the audience as well. So every day in December, we kind of have a discussion, and it's a kind of loose Christmassy theme, some really corny stuff actually, but some very important messages in there as well. So it is more fun than it sounds. We also had our 12,000th member join, Saoirse Broyne from Northern Ireland, electrical engineer. She couldn't be with us today, but she was our 12,000th member, who again got champagne and chocolates. And I'm looking out for 13,000. Don't be thinking I'm going to wait till I register at 13,000th. I'll be looking out for that. But it's quite nice to celebrate champagne and chocolates for each 1,000th member. It's a nice problem to have. This is our LinkedIn group, which a majority of you will be in. And if you're not, well, obviously, we recommend you do join the group, because you'll be joining the community. And we just clocked over 12,200 people there within the group. It is invite only. We don't let anyone in. So you've got to be relevant member of the community. And in particular, we block recruiters. I enjoy that job. we block recruiters. We don't let them join. So we make sure that it's credible, relevant people, and I think that's why the group has done so well. And it kind of self-polices, self-manages. So there's literally, I can't remember the last time I had to delete anyone's comment or delete a discussion, because everyone's in there to be very constructive and very helpful. It's basically free consultancy. So use it, tap into it. I remind you before the day's out of that. And just to reiterate, the LinkedIn group intent is very much to share good practice, to canvass opinion on contractual matters, challenge the understanding of individual clauses, and all in a very constructive and encouraging environment. So use it. So that's the recommendation. With GMH Planning, we've had a very long-standing and enjoyable affiliation with Seeker, and Seeker again sponsors today. David Allen's down here at the front from Seeker South, and Paul Santa will be joining us shortly. He's travelling up from the southwest, so he should be with us very shortly. So do chat to David and Paul, and remind you, as particularly as contractors, subcontractors, how Seeker can be helping you with the industry, or within the industry. And with Seeker, we've been publishing monthly bulletins. I don't know if anyone's caught these. But once a month we publish a bulletin, and we've just registered number 42. So that's how long we've been doing them for. I don't know how many we've got in us, David, but there's a few more yet. I think we'll be publishing at least to the end of the year, and I suspect into next year. And even then we might be struggling. Once we get to 60, what else is there to talk about? But we'll find some more. We have got a sample of some of those Seeker bulletins, so feel free, on David's stand out there, just through the doors. If you want to have a look at some of those bulletins, we printed, I think, 50 off, so first come, first serve. But there's a few examples of the Seeker bulletins that are available there. So just samples of ones we've done in the last 12 months. We've done one on X1 inflation, which is quite a specific, tricky little secondary option, actually. The concept of it is simple, but the indices you measure against is a lot more complex. The role of the project manager. A few project managers in this room should probably read that bulletin, just saying. So that talks about the aspects of the project manager. Z clauses that could significantly alter risk. Well, I think Nicola's going to probably cover everything we've got in that bulletin, and probably some more. So we're going to talk about that as well. So they are available for you as well. So really, above all, the messages, have a great day. Obviously, the timings are in the agenda there. So first break, all of our breaks will be back in the canteen area. Most of you seem to find the bacon rolls okay this morning. So we're back out there for lunch, and also all of our coffee breaks and such like are there. Any issues during the day, Theo and Fox out there, any problems you got, just let them know and they should be able to look after you. Other than that, have a great day. And I'm going to invite John, who's going to run our first presentation today.
Put that there so I can spin it on your computer.